What up, family? This is Jeff with D&J Empowerment Group, and today's video is going to be the top 5 tips to help you achieve your goals. Now, before we get into the video, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit the like button, click the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can get notifications every time we post a new video. And if you're watching this on Facebook, go ahead and click that like button and also follow us so that way you can get updates every day from D&J Empowerment Group. All right, let's get into the video. All right, tip number one. Tip number one is you have to have a vision, okay? This is very crucial and critical to the overall plan, all right? You have to determine what it is that you are wanting to do and what you're trying to accomplish, all right? This is right here is the core foundation of everything. So if you don't have a clear vision of what it is that you're wanting to do, you're gonna be all over the place, right? Because you don't have a strong foundation, everything's gonna crumble beneath you, and then you're gonna end up starting back at square one. So make sure that you have a very clear and precise vision of what it is you want to do. Now, tip number two. So tip number two is you need to develop an action plan. And so first of all, what you need to do is you need to make sure you write it all down. And then the second part to that is you have to be very, very specific on what those steps are, okay? So you need to have details as to the how, the what, the why, and the when. And then also you need to make sure that you have goals in place, right, to keep that momentum going forward. So you need to have daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, and yearly goals. Now, all that depends on what your timeline is. You know, some are going to be longer and shorter than others, but you need to have those goals and milestones in place for two reasons. One, it keeps you in the momentum, you know, going forward and keeping you on that timeline that you set up so that way you can stay on that track. But two, it's one of those things where you gain little victories along the way. You know, we all know it's tough to kind of really, you know, get to that next level and do whatever it is that you're trying to do to get to that level. So you got to have little victories to kind of help keep that momentum going forward. And then eventually, as you start accomplishing each part and getting to each goal, those little victories eventually add up to a big victory, okay? And then the other thing is there's been a study shown that human beings are 42% more likely to achieve their goals when they write them down and they're specific about them. Okay, so we all know that this journey is tough. It's not easy. So you need to give yourself every advantage you can. So if writing them down gives you that much of a boost and helps you, you know, keep hitting those milestones and getting to that next goal, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, okay? So make sure, tip number two, develop an action plan. All right, guys, tip number three. So tip number three is you have to have an accountability partner. Now, having an accountability partner, what it does is it increases your chances of actually achieving your goal, right? And this is huge because we all get hit by life's curveball, whether you're married, you're a parent, or, you know, career, whatever it is. You know, things kind of get to you, things fall to the wayside, or you just throw it to the back burner, and then eventually you don't even end up going back to it anyway, and you're right back to square one. Okay, and so the American Society of Training and Development, ASTD, did a study on accountability and found that you have a 65% chance of completing a goal if you commit to someone. And if you have a specific time and date that you have committed to a person, you will increase your chances of success by up to 95%. That's huge, guys. You know, like I said in the last one, you have to give yourself every advantage you can. So just the simple fact of you having an accountability partner and you've committed to a specific time to that person, you've increased your chance by 95%. That's a lot, okay? So, you know, just doing that alone gives you incredible odds of making sure that you get these goals accomplished and you get them completed, okay? So remember, step number three, have an accountability partner. Tip number four, this one is very important. They're all important, but I want everybody to really pay attention to what we're about to talk about here, okay? So tip number four is breaking bad habits and developing new habits. okay? This is a key component when trying to achieve your goals. So just like athletes have muscle memory when it comes to competing because they train all the time, your mind and your body develop that same muscle memory when you make excuses every time you run into an issue and you don't finish something, right? So let me give you an example. I'm gonna use basketball because I play ball, so I have a frame of reference when it comes to this. So basketball player, right? Every day they throw up 1,000 shots, boom, 1,000 shots. That's what they practice every day, right? And what eventually happens when they do that is that whole motion of shooting the ball, catching and shooting becomes muscle memory. They don't have to think twice about it. It's second nature to them. So when they get in the game, it's literally boom, catch and shoot, boom. It's not them sitting there like, oh, let me get my feet and my body square. Let me make sure my knees are bent. I have the ball at the right angle. No, they don't have to think about none of that. Just that alone, you see how long it took me to do that. In the game, it's not gonna work. Well, in real life, in everyday life, when you make excuses or you just don't do something because you're scared of failure, right? That's muscle memory. You have to understand our minds and bodies are built for survival. So whenever your brain sends that signal of fear, that is our natural reaction because it's self-preservation, right? To just run away, to just avoid it because we're trying to survive, because our brain is saying, hey, fear, which equals danger, which means you can get hurt or die or whatever, so let's avoid that. That's just a natural reaction, right? So you have to break those habits, right? Because every day, because that is a natural thing to do, right? To be fearful and then to just run away, right? You reinforce that over time because you just naturally do it. And then eventually, once again, like the basketball player, it becomes second nature. A struggle or a bad moment comes, you get fearful, you say no, you go away, boom, that's it. So in this time, you have to be aware, self-aware of when those moments arise, and you have to get out of your comfort zone, okay? Not every situation is gonna be perfect and not everything's gonna be set up for you to just go smoothly. You have to just really just dive in and take that chance and take your lumps and learn from them, okay? So like we said, tip number 4, break bad habits and develop new ones. Okay, family, it's the last one. So tip number 5, this one, listen, okay? Listen very carefully. You have to be patient. It's a process, okay? We live in a society now where we want instant gratification. I want it now. What's that commercial?
It's my money and I need it now.
It's not gonna happen overnight. Just like how you got into the position you are now didn't happen overnight, you trying to, graduate, start your business, whatever the case may be, that's not gonna happen overnight either, right? It's a process. And that's not even factoring, all the things, the ups and downs of life. Life throws you curveballs. I said this before. So you kind of have to take that in consideration and be patient with yourself, okay? And that's why it's very important, like we said in the other previous tips, that you have to make sure you write it down and you're very specific as far as the timeline and the goals, right, and the milestones, because those are the things that are kind of give you more of that realistic point of view of how long this is going to take, okay? Because everybody wants it done now, tomorrow, next week. That's not how it works, okay? So just like with anything, be patient with yourself, okay? There's going to be moments where you take one step forward and 2 steps back, but you have to stay focused and make sure that you regain those 2 steps and then take the next step forward, okay? So tip number 5, everybody, please remember this: be patient. All right, family, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out our video. Please make sure to check us out on all social media platforms. And if you want more information or have any questions, visit our website at djempowerment.com. All links will be in the description below. And I want y'all to remember this: you were not put on this earth by accident. You are here for a reason. You have purpose. You were blessed with a gift. Dig deep inside and find that gift, share that gift to the world, and be a blessing to others. Straight up.